everyone, I'm Jane. This is my crazy life as a high school student. Well, dear diary. One day, me and my pals decided to start our own YouTube channel. Of course, I immediately said that it was not the best idea, but my friends are very stubborn. Matthew bought a camera, Mia bought all sorts of things she proudly called props. Rachel collected some statistics on popular commercials. By the way, Rachel herself was not going to participate in all of this. And for some reason, Ethan persuaded my sister Susie to take part in the shooting, instead of him. These bloggers made Susie the star of their channel. Anyway, let's put it in order. Anyway, we got down to business. Rachel spent the whole day on YouTube, but she gave us a good plan. Now it is trendy to do all sorts of challenges, like checking yourself for strength or some other person. Anyway, I already imagined how we would be wrapped in toilet paper and stuff like that, but it turned out the challenge was not enough for our glorious company. We would take it further. We would take all the challenges Rachel's found on YouTube. To make things fair, Mia took out a piece of paper, wrote the names of challenges on them, threw them in Matthew's cap, and with a sinister smile on her face, she suggested we choose the game for ourselves. My hands were shaking. For some reason, it really seemed to me my life depended on this choice. If I had known it would turn out this way. I was lucky. I got a simple yes day. I had to say yes for everything for the next 24 hours. I was happy. It didn't even bother me my friends are crazy and they would offer me things like eating worms or something. Ethan got a chips bath, but even before the bath filling started, he had already eaten 6 packs in just 5 minutes. Me and Rachel decided we couldn't afford buying enough chips for this monster, and they had to change the challenge. So me and Ethan switched our challenges. Mia got a Coca-Cola bath. Susie was the luckiest. She got 100 layers of toilet paper. But Matthew got the toughest task. He had to spend 24 hours in the mall. After that, I fell in love with my chips bath. So, Rachel had to shoot everyone so we didn't waste time. Well, except for Matthew. He had to cope somehow on his own. And showtime! Hey guys, by the way, subscribe to the channel please. Come on. Click the bell button and don't forget to like. Let's keep going. I was lying in a tub full of chips. I felt stupid. I was cold and it wasn't funny at all. And everything below my head itched fiercely. Mia was lying next to me and she was suffering. The Coca-Cola was sticky. It smelled. Well, Coca-Cola bubbled and it was cool. Mia screamed as if it was a nightmare. Ethan suggested one of us switch tasks with him every 5 minutes. He even tried to take a sip from Mia's bath, but he was kicked out and returned to eating worms. As I said, my friends are nuts. It was so stupid. We all envied Susie, who was laughing under 100 layers of toilet paper. She even made some poems on the spot about being a toilet mummy. However, her fun didn't last long either. After a couple of hours, she wanted to go to the bathroom. Such an irony, huh? She was wrapped in 100 rolls of toilet paper, but she was unable to go to the toilet. We didn't know what was going on with Matthew at that moment, because he had gone to the mall from the early morning, and there was still no news from him. Why worry during the daytime? But at night... Well, 2 hours passed and Susie started crying. She told us she hated us all. She was tired, she gave up and she was about to go home. An hour later, she thought of asking Ethan to untie her. Ethan, who kept saying yes to everyone, couldn't refuse. And that was how we lost one of the participants on our reality show. Rachel said she would edit it as if Susie had been the toilet paper until the end. Susie showed her the middle finger, forgetting she came from a decent family. Mia left the reality show in a more epic way. She flew out of the bathroom still screaming and ran somewhere towards the shower. Then she roared for a long time from behind the shower door and said she would never do it again. No one tried to persuade her. She also swore that she would never even touch a bottle of Coke in her life. Of course, she was exaggerating. In the evening, we were eating the rest of the chips and drinking the Coke. Mia personally drank 2 bottles. I honestly thought I'd be the next one to give up. Lying the chips was boring, cold, and itchy. I had the smell of chips all over me. Besides, these chips were my least favorite, crab flavor. I couldn't even crunch them to somehow distract myself. Meanwhile, Ethan was gnawing on everything around. So while I was laying in a chip bath and thought how I'd always stink of rotten fish, the next person quitting the game was Ethan. Ethan, his simple yes day, the simplest task ever in the world. You know why? He just decided to run away. He quit because he ran away. Isn't that stupid? In fact, He took one of the cameras and went outside. He said he would leave as he had no longer sit next to the chips, being unable to eat them. Well, I think you already figured out what happened to him, right? Ethan was walking down the street, breathing fresh air without crab flavor. Suddenly, a cyclist rode past him and right into a puddle, which poured onto our hero. That was it. So, word for word, sorry, but I had to skip through their beautiful dialogue, full of suffering and drama because teens underage are watching this. Anyway, after a phrase from a cyclist, Ethan realized he had been hit, and seriously hit, because he had to say yes to everything people offered him. Even if it was a passerby, even if it was a phrase, "You want me to kick your brains in or what?" Well, that's how he epically got out of the game. He said he was no longer participating and he was not going to fulfill the passerby's wishes anymore. Then the camera showed everyone a piece of sky and some body parts of the fighting guys for another 15 minutes. So it was me and Matthew. I was focused on winning, but the crab flavor and itching? Who in the world would have guessed that the most crucial moment I would be allergic to the crabs? I mean to the spices that imitate the flavor. At some point, my small scabies changed into a big and hard attack. I literally started to inflate like a balloon. I had to turn off the video shooting and run to the hospital. I got an injection in my butt and a recipe from a doctor. It was painful, insulting, and sad because I wanted to win. But it's like we didn't even compete. Did I mention Matthew's assignment was the most difficult? Yes, he didn't catch allergies like me. He didn't have to suffer with red spots all over his body like me. He was even able to go to the toilet unlike Susie. Besides, he could even choose several toilets. But spending the night in a mall is a really bad idea. Matthew hid in one of the toilets. He even managed not to get spotted until the mall closed down. Then, according to the terms of the challenge, he went to explore the night world of stores from the inside. And everything even went well. He walked through empty halls, he looked into the windows. Well, he couldn't get inside the shops. Then he got tired of it, lay down on one of the benches and dozed off. That's when the security guards found him when they were patrolling the mall. Matthew got handcuffed and beaten. Then the guards called the police. And his parents had to prove for a long time their son was just a stupid teenager and not a robber. In the end, the cops believed him, but they had to pay a fine. After this, Matthew was locked up in home for a week. He even had to send voice messages secretly so that no one heard him. Anyway, our desire to become popular was crashed down by reality. I've been drinking terribly nasty allergy pills for 3 days. I always felt sleepy after them. Mia had to apply some creams to treat her skin. Ethan treated the bruises on his head, and Matthew howled in his room for a week and sent us all threatening emoticons in the chat. As Rachel promised, she assembled it all from the pieces. We watched it together, but we decided we couldn't upload anything on the net. It was too embarrassing and stupid. You know what kind of thing we heard when it was all over? Famous bloggers do not lie in bathrooms for 24 hours at all. And they did nothing at all for 24. They just shot the cut to make it look cool. And we're just losers. Ta-da! Conclusion. If you have brains, or if you're like Rachel, don't try to become a celebrity in a quick and stupid way. You should study more carefully what you're about to do so it works out your way. Anyway, all these challenges are ridiculous. It'd be better if we opened a readers club. Type in the comments how you feel about challenges, pranks, and stuff. Like this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to never miss new stories about my crazy life. Bye!